So here we go. What's hiding under here? Oh, got him. So we saw what that was hiding. Now if we just kind of take this off, let's see what else is hiding behind there. So as you can see right here, there's 5 different fuses that actually run off and run different circuits. Then you have one for your alternator, one for your starter. I'm not sure which one is which. And then we have this lovely blue and green and orange corrosion that is coming. So upon first glance, obviously, we can tell this is the original battery that was in this vehicle. This is a 2019, so I think, yeah, going on 4 years. She got it new, and this 84 month, I don't think it's going to do that with that going on. I'm probably going to go ahead and, recommend her getting a battery. She hasn't had really any issues with it. This is just preventative maintenance. But for now, it's not really in the cards for them to get a battery right now, so I'm going to clean it up as best as I can and show you guys what to do with that very, very cheap tool that can honestly save you thousands of dollars. Well, we'll get to that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the negative terminal. This is just a 10 millimeter. This is actually, obviously really, really simple. I'm using just a regular rusty wrench just to, and show anyone can do this. You want to loosen it, and then just turn it like that, it will come off. You kind of want to manipulate it a little to get it to where it's not going to go back and touch. You don't want them to touch. Okay, so now we're jumping over to the positive terminal. Now, if you'll notice, I've already tried putting the wrench on here. It didn't really want to go. There's so much corrosion. You really got to be careful. I think this is going to break. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ruh-roh. Make sure it's all the way on there. Wow. That can happen. Mostly what can happen is the fastener, pretty much the nut and bolt that goes through there, is usually one of the first things to corrode, being as I don't know if they're not coated with a zinc oxide as well, or it's a different type of material. For some reason, that always is the first to go. And what a lot of people do is they'll just put any old fastener in there. So, and then, there's no coating on it. They will pretty much break most of the time. All right, and then kind of the same thing. This one's going to be a little bit harder, though, because, this is all metal holding this, but you don't want to go too hard and you can break something in there. So, very gingerly. Oh man, that's stuck on there. Good. Anything can become a hammer if it's heavy enough. Now, banging on these is only making this worse. Just gotta use me muscles. There she comes. Okay. And there we go. Yep. Oh, it's leaking all around there. Nice. All right, so now this is where the star of the show comes in. I'm going to go ahead and just clean the terminals and then clean, the end of the actual contacts with the both sides of this. I will show you how this works. Okay, so pretty much nice and easy. There's this little top that comes off, and you'll see there's kind of 2 sides, an innie and an outie, male and a female. So I know this from experience. When you're using this one like this, keep the top on there. Now this side is actually for your post. Just gonna run her on there and just give her a spin. Just spin it. Look at that, brand new. As you can see, that part actually works very, very well. Now, this side is obviously for the actual terminal for your car. And they do work very, very well for what they're intended for. Now, I would definitely get in and clean the tops and bottoms of these too. You can just use any kind of wire, flat wire brush, or a piece of sandpaper. Now, I don't have any, but they do make a battery terminal cleaner, and they actually have some that also detect acid, meaning as soon as it hits battery acid, sulfuric acid, they usually turn pink. And it's a good indicator for if you have battery acid leaking. See, we can see it all there. And it's even corroding right there where this bracket is touching it. Very, very bad. So basically, when you see it like that, it's just a matter of time. The battery's going downhill. So many things can be affected just from this right here. It's amazing. You guys really got to think. One of these runs your starter, one of these runs your alternator. I always see these getting corroded so bad that I've seen alternators being thrown at vehicles as well as starters just because of, you know, one of these connections. It's very, very easy to misdiagnose. Another thing is these connectors can actually come off. You got to think, so there's 5 different connections carrying current down here, you know, run into different circuits. Now, just because these seem like they're all hidden, those can corrode. You can see there's a little push tab right here. You can pretty much just push that in, push it down, they all come out. Pretty easy, pretty kind of self-explanatory. Just doing this right here is going to get at least, I'd say, another 6 months, maybe a year, depending on how much of the acid is gone from the battery. You know, it could have a dead cell in it. That's usually what happens. They leak, they get a bad cell. They can get up to charge, they can do everything normally. Sometimes I've seen even where they'll pass the cold cranking amps, and it's still just, it causes a plethora of problems. All related to this. So at this point, you know, this is only going to get you so far. You need a new battery. All right, so another thing you can pick up is one of these little spinny doohickeys, attachments that go on your drill. You can get these in this flavor, or you can get them in kind of a cone. You can get them in a bunch of different things. But I will sometimes use this. I'm at home, obviously. And the key with this, when you're using it on a drill, is don't press very hard. It does enough work by itself. See, that's what happens when you go too hard. I guess just kind of anticipate it doing that, so keep your pingies out of the way. But in a pinch, this will get you too. This is what I think I'm going to use for now, because I don't have any cleaner, and just to demonstrate, because I'm going to be here next week doing the same thing. For now, just to get all this glue off, I'm going to try to use this. This is janky. And then there is an isolator on the bottom of this one. It's funny. There's an isolator that goes underneath it, and then it isolates those two sides too. So they're thinking ahead. Atta girl. When you put these back on, they make a type of spray that's usually red. You can spray it on there. They also make, you know, a type of grease. Literally any type of grease you can kind of put on your terminals, you know, every single piece of your terminal, and that will help from corrosion too. Another thing you want to do is your nut, giggity, your fastener, well, no, it's a nut, that goes, you know, onto your terminals. You want to clean them too. So maybe not necessarily like this. You can use some sandpaper or just a regular wire brush. Or if you got a grinder with a wire brush on it too, that always works well. But you kind of just want to make sure that all of your mating surfaces are clean. So here we go, all cleaned up, about as best as I'm going to get them for now. Remember what I said about keeping these two clean? Remember, this whole thing comes off. And I want to give a little bit of love over to this side on the ground. Now, this is a Nissan, and, well, I guess on any of the newer cars, you're going to have a current sensor which is a ring that detects current. And then look at all of these other grounds that are feeding another circuit. But my point of this is, on a lot of Hyundais and things like that, you want to get to the end of this wire, which is usually somewhere along up over here. And what they do on, especially on the Hyundais, the Kias like that, they will put their chassis ground there, but they don't remove any paint. They just rely on the threading of the fastener and of, you know, whatever is tapped in to make the threads into the chassis. And so that's definitely another place to look and to clean up too. On this one, it's all pretty clean as far as the ground side goes. But yeah, definitely this will get us another week so she can get a battery. And I got to get another nut for that too. So I guess do what I say, not as I do, when you're using that little thing on the drill. But yeah, just hopefully this helps you out and kind of can give you, you know, a little bit of an idea of actually how much this affects your whole entire car, and just kind of shows, you know, how some shops will definitely shoot the old parts cannon right at it. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much. Hope this helped you out. Have a good one.